Anthony Walters. I played cornerback and free safety, defensive back of the year. My biggest play of the season. Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. I would like to think I had a couple of big plays, but we were playing University of New Hampshire down here Friday night, playoff, second round, and they were driving down, going for a score, and they threw it across the middle, and I made an interception that easily sealed the game, and that was probably my most important play so far this year. I think that the biggest thing being a defensive back is you have to practice. I know it sounds cliche, but it's all about footwork. And your footwork has to be smooth. You have to come in and out of breaks full speed, and you have to be used to doing it. You know, you have to be accustomed to making these turns. And in the weight room, it's just about working hard. You have to find something that'll get you motivated. And motivation's key. And you just got to try to get better every day. That's across the board. You just got to get better every day, a little every day, and you'll be fine. I would say, I guess the biggest obstacle would be trying to stay healthy. You know, it's playing is you know, a crapshoot sometimes. You know, you can practice great, but then you might not have you know, that good of a game. So I think that staying healthy is key. I've always, you know, prayed to stay healthy. I never asked to win. That's, you know, out of my hands really. You can only ask to stay healthy, and that's the biggest thing for me is not having, you know, any ACL injuries, knock on wood, or anything that would really hinder my performance. That's the most important thing, is healthy. When I was younger, I used to like to play video games, maybe freshman, sophomore year. Now I just like to sleep and watch movies. I like to relax as much as I can. You know, when you put in as much work as we do here, you like to, whatever break you get, you like to take advantage of it. I think it's just a fun place to be. When I came on my visit, I had a great time, and this is the main thing in Delaware is football. They don't have professional sports. The basketball team, you know, isn't doing that well right now, and football is kind of where it's at. So to have all of the fans show their support, this is a big thing for the entire state, and I think that's one of the things that drew me here. I think with the CAA, we might have had 5 teams in the playoffs this year. We average about 5 a year, and it's the SEC, probably a 1AA. You know, the competition is crazy every year, but it prepares you for the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, you ask any CAA team, when you go into the playoffs, you don't want to play another CAA team. You know, you want to stay as far away from those teams as you can, because you know the challenge it'll pose. So I think the conference is extremely tough across the board. To stay in the NFL, you know, playing in it, a lot of people make camps. A lot of people, you know, get invited to mini camps, training camp, practice squad. You know, I don't want to only play in the NFL. I want to stay in the NFL. And that's the biggest goal for me, is to stay in the NFL right now. And once I do that, then I'll have other individual goals down the line. But I just want to be able to stay in the NFL and stay healthy. Nowadays, you know, I admire Ed Reed a lot. He's rangy, and I admire Troy Polamalu. I admire Darrelle Revis, because what he does is just it's unbelievable. You know, his focus every single play is incredible. I was always told to play each snap, one snap at a time, and that's what he does, and that's extremely tough to do. So those are probably my 3 favorite defensive guys, and of course Ray Lewis. But hopefully they'll be peers, so the admiration will, you know, deteriorate a little. Growing up, I was always active. You know, I played basketball all my life. I grew up in Philadelphia, so, you know, urban area, always basketball players you'd expect. Grew up playing football too. Those are the 2 sports, football and basketball. Not many parks, so we used to play football on the concrete. And you know, I lived with my parents, my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandmother, and my brother's definitely helped push me along this way. You know, he's about 3 years older, so growing up, I always tried to beat him. And, you know, I got to the age where I was actually beating him, and it just helped me become the competitor that I am, really. And, you know, my parents have been there every step of the way. And, you know, I thank my whole household for that, and my family in general. My freshman year, maybe it was like game 5 or 4 or something like that, we were playing an option team. And I was blitzing at nickel, and they went for the pitch. The quarterback went to pitch it, and I guess he clammed up because he hesitated. And when he finally got rid of it, I tipped it, and then I landed on it in the end zone. Ironically, that was my only touchdown 4 years ago.